LeBron James took his talents to Boston Thursday. But was it enough to force a Game 7 in Miami Saturday?
Now, it's not hyperbole to say the immediate future of the Miami Heat franchise was riding on the outcome of Game 6. And whenever there are stakes like that for the Heat, that means most of the responsibility falls on LeBron James. And James handled that responsibility brilliantly. Game 6 from Boston on Thursday night. Here's Doc Rivers in his pregame speech.
We got to grind for 48 minutes. They have not seen our best. They're going to see our best tonight. I can feel it.
LeBron James has seen the Celtics best before. His 2008 and 2010 seasons ended in the playoffs in Boston. He was with Cleveland then, with Miami now, and leading them. Rolls right past Paul Pierce and sets the tone. And that was just the start of just an incredible performance for James. Shot clock winding down, doesn't matter. Greg Steamsma saw that one go down. James started 6 out of 7. Later, after Ray Allen missed, Dwayne Wade with the rebound, loses it into the crowd. And then a fan tosses the ball back and knocks Wade right in his coconut. But nothing anybody tried worked on James. Put him on the line as well. The Heat up 7 after the free throw. How about from long range? 2 for 4 on threes. Miami 7 of 16 from long range as a team. James 14 points in the first quarter. Celtics only had 16. Heat shot 58%. They were up 10 after 1. James even better in the second quarter. Everything working. Turnaround jumper. Got that. Paul Pierce on him for the fadeaway jumper. Got that. Moments later, working the baseline. Really didn't matter who guarded him. Brandon Bass rotated, but James able to create some space and put that one down. Less than 2 minutes to go. Chris Bosh misses. James does not. Shot 6 for 7 in the second quarter as well. Less than a minute to go in the half. Michael Petrus all over him. But it was that kind of night. James led the Heat to a 13-point lead at the break. 30 points in the first half on 12 out of 14 shooting. Shot better than 85%. It's the best first half by a Heat player in the playoffs. Eric Spoelstra happy with the Heat offense in the first half.
I really like the attack, okay? Be patient, okay? Be patient. Stay fearless with this, but it's one possession at a time in the second half.
It's one possession at a time and one player dominating the game. Third quarter, James. Difficult angle, doesn't matter. Heat up 17. Later, 14-point game. Paul Pierce misses. Bass in for the slam. He had 12 points. Celtics cut it to a 12-point game. It looks like they might be able to make a run, but LeBron James said no. Puts the Heat up 15. Later, Paul Pierce, tough shooting night for him. 4 for 18. He had just 9 points. Rajon Rondo with the steal, and he puts it in. Rondo had 21 points and 10 assists, and he gets that and James with a technical foul. That was about the only mistake he made in the game. And then he comes back down and hits the three-pointer to put the Heat back up 13. Less than a minute to go in the quarter. James on the baseline. Rondo on him. That's a mismatch. Rondo doesn't even jump. James, 41 points after 3 quarters. At the other end, Celtics still having trouble shooting it. Kevin Garnett, after you saw the Pierce miss, Garnett 6 of 14. He had 12 points. Doc Rivers now on what Boston's got to do.
We got to make some baskets, really, because when we make baskets, we can set our defense. Right now, we're missing baskets. They're running out. They're getting this stuff pretty early.
But they didn't make baskets. Fourth quarter, Celtics down 13. Rondo, he had the 21 points and the 10 assists. He also turned it over 7 times. At the other end, Wade, he had 17 points. Started 1 for 6, but shot 5 for 11 after that. Garnett, with Joel Anthony on him. Remember Garnett with the great game in Game 5, but not this time. Wade with the reverse layup, put the Heat up 17. Then later, still a 17-point game. James got Garnett on him now. It really didn't matter. And then he draws everybody and then finds Wade for the easy layup. And the Heat up 23. And then later, same thing. Except it's the other way around. It's Wade to James. Boston down by 20, but listen to the crowd. They're trying to get ready for Game 7 because Game 6, their team was never in it because LeBron James said so. 45 points, 15 rebounds, and 5 assists as the Heat go on to win it 98-79. So now it's either a third trip in 5 years to the finals for Boston or a second straight trip for Miami to the finals because Game 7 is coming up on Saturday, 8:30 Eastern on ESPN and ESPN Radio. Now, the Heat still has a chance thanks to James' performance. How good is 45, 15, and 5? Well, only one other player has ever done that in the playoffs, Wilt Chamberlain. The Heat plays on because James played so well.
I felt like I was aggressive from the opening tip, and the guys kept continuing to find me, and I tried to keep it going. I felt like that a few times, in this postseason. It's a great feeling to be in when you feel like everything you put up was going in. But I didn't need any extra motivation in this game. I just went to my habits, what I've built, ever since I started playing this game.
One of the best I've seen, one of the best this league has ever seen, and he's helped us a lot so we can live to play another day.
He played amazing. He was locked in from the beginning of the game, like I've never seen him before. The shots he was making was, unbelievable. He really put on the MVP performance tonight.
He came out with an attack mentality right from the get-go, and that just pumped the entire team up with a tremendous amount of confidence.
He hit a lot of shots that he hasn't been really making all series. A lot of fadeaways from the elbow. We live with that. Sometimes superstars get hot.
It was a matter of too much LeBron. He was absolutely sensational. Made every shot. Set the tone for their whole team. I hope now you guys can stop talking about LeBron and that he doesn't play in big games. He was pretty good tonight.
One other stat you need to know, the Celtics 1 for 14 on threes. Let's take a closer look at James' top playoff performances. Game 1 of the 2009 Eastern Conference Finals put up a playoff career high 49 against the Magic. Orlando, however, were going to win that game and eventually won the series. Game 5 of the conference finals in 2007, maybe his most memorable playoff performance, 48 points against the Pistons, including his team's last 25 points. Cleveland won that game and then closed out the series in 6. That was amazing to watch. If you saw it, the Pistons knew he would shoot every time and he still made it. In the conference semis in 2009 against the Hawks, 47 in Game 3. Cavaliers were going to sweep that series in 4 games. He averaged 35 a game over the entire playoffs that year. And then Thursday, with his team facing elimination in Boston, James scored 45 points to go with the 15 rebounds and 5 assists to force a Game 7. For more now, our NBA countdown crew as the Heat moves on.
The Miami Heat storm into Game 7 by simply just hitting the Celtics with one shot, one haymaker after another in Game 6. LeBron James leading the way with one of his greatest performances ever. This goes on the all-time highlight reel. What jumps out at you about LeBron James' performance in this game, Irvin?
Well, his leadership, his intensity, his willingness to say, you know what, guys, I'm going to lead the charge. I'm going to put it on my shoulders. You guys get on me. Let's go. I'm going to show you that I'm here to win this Game 6. And he did just that. JB, on both ends of the court.
The demeanor. There was no taking pictures in the lineups. Every single guy followed his lead. I mean, this guy was serious. He was focused. And he set the tone because he took the ball to the basket. He went to the post. That was his first basket of the game. We're going to see all of them. He got going early. Now, I don't mind these jumpers, but mid-range. He caught the ball at mid-range. If you catch the ball from 15 feet and you're LeBron James, you're the most dominant basketball player when you put the ball on the floor and go to the hole. Why be at 35 feet? Catch it at 15, and that's exactly what he did tonight. Put the pressure on the defense. It was a one-man wrecking crew. LeBron James was absolutely sensational in this Game 6.
Well, what he also did was defense. They played great defense, holding Boston to 79 points. Boston had averaged 95 against them in this series. LeBron, at times, you saw him guarding Paul Pierce, who went 4 for 18, but he also guarded Kevin Garnett. He guarded Rajon Rondo. So in addition to hitting all these jumpers and scorching the Celtics, he set the tone for his team defensively.
Look at the movement, too.
No question. You ever see him do a back cut? The
movement that was involved there,
that was key.
It looked like some of their early season games when they came out with that shock and awe offense. LeBron James, remember, 19 for 26 in this game, 45 points, 15 rebounds. The only reason he had just 5 assists is because nobody else scored much. He could have had 12 or 15 assists if he needed to, but this is one of those games only Wilt by the way, Wilt, had a line like that. You're talking about a conference final game, a game in which, as Irvin mentioned before the game, you're playing for your reputation.
Right.
You are playing to stay alive in the season when everybody, including you and your team, thought you were going to be the champions. LeBron kept that alive in Game 6.
So the question is, why don't we see this every night?
Well, not every. How about more often?
Well, no,
You mean the attitude,
just the
not
attitude,
the numbers.
the demeanor,
the
the
numbers
seriousness of the moment, the attack mode. That's what we talked about in the film room.
Yeah.
Get in an attack mode. He did it this time. Why do you have to have your back up against the wall that you're facing elimination to get that done?
I have to admit something. I think this season we saw more of that from LeBron than ever before. And what I enjoyed, you know, I've watched Michael Jordan do this. Well, I've watched Larry Bird do this. We've watched Kobe do this. And sort of he took on their attitude and their persona in this game, and he delivered big time. Now, can you keep it going into Game 7 and do the same thing and end this series?
Maybe he
and get
needed
to the
that
finals?
one time to do it, and now this is the new LeBron.
Yeah.
Well,
we'll
he's
find
done
out
it
Saturday.
before.
We've been looking
find out
for
Saturday.
a killer mentality,
Consistently.
a killer attitude. That's what he took to Boston and put away the Celtics in Game 6.
We got to get multiple stops so we can get out in transition. Every time we get a stop, we get something good, all right? So we got to get multiple stops so we can have multiple transition plays, all right?
Doc Rivers pleaded with his team to get stops, but there was no stopping LeBron James. He unloaded on the Celtics, 45 points on 19 of 26 shooting. That's 73%. The Heat forced Game 7 in Miami Saturday with a win in Boston. Rachel Nichols was there.
In the third quarter Thursday night, the Heat coaches tried to take LeBron James out of the game to get him some rest. James wasn't interested. He brushed off the call back to the bench, not wanting to give an inch as long as the Celtics had the chance of a comeback. But while he finished one of the biggest games of his career, having logged 45 minutes, he and his teammates still have to get through at least another 48 on Saturday if they're going to grab a berth in the NBA Finals.
Game 7 is nothing promised to you. You got to go out and you got to play the game. You got to give it your all. So it's going to be, this is going to be a knockout, after knockout, after knockout, after knockout game. And, hopefully we standing at the end. And we got to play it, full out, 48.
The danger is you can't just assume since you're going home that that's good enough to win. They've beaten us twice on our home floor this year. And so we know we just need another focused, concentrated effort like we had tonight.
Can you do this again in a Game 7, and will you have to?
I will continue to be aggressive. I will try to continue to play at a high level like I've done the whole postseason. And if it results in these numbers or whatever the case may be, if I'm going to go out there and play my game, I'm going to play as hard as I can. I won't regret Game 7. The win, lose, or draw.
Hours before Game 6, LeBron James told me he understood how high the stakes were, but that he felt completely different than when he was under the same kind of pressure during last year's NBA Finals. Back then, he said, he was trying very hard to prove other people wrong. On Thursday, he was just playing for himself and his team, and to get to a Game 7. In Boston, I'm Rachel Nichols, ESPN.
In a lot of playoff games in Boston over the years, James' 45 points tied for the fourth most in a playoff game in Boston by an opponent since 1986. But unlike the others to score 45 or more on the road against the Celtics since then, James was able to win as well. Brewers win at 4-3-10.
At one, LeBron James' teammate said he had that look in his eye since the team dinner on Wednesday, and he eyeballed the C's Thursday. Stop looking at my lemonade. James, 45 points, 15 rebounds. It was one of those wow games when you watched it. There will be a Game 7 Saturday. Well, I'm guessing the Celtics are tired of seeing LeBron James in Game 6, but we're not. Hey, if anyone deserves a SportsCenter LeBron core, it's James.